Today I'm going to go through how to set financial goals and specifically a 5-year plan for your bookkeeping business. So in this example, I'm going to start with a bookkeeper at the very beginning of their bookkeeping business. And the very first half a year that they are in business, they earn $3,000. And that is with 2 clients. And then I walk you step by step through the 5 years, how many clients you gain each year, and kind of some tips and tricks along the way. And then at the end of the 5 years, I have you making over $80,000. I think it was $90,000 of annual income at the end of the 5 years. So in my opinion, this is very doable for someone who is consistently working on their bookkeeping business, showing up every day and doing their best. This isn't even the rock star person that's putting in tons of marketing and hustling really hard and has really big goals. I truly think this is realistic for kind of the average hardworking, capable bookkeeper out there. So you watching this video, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with this, if you think my plan is outlandish, especially if you are a bookkeeper. Let us know if you think this is realistic. So I'm gonna start by just going over a bird's eye view of the 5 years. I'm gonna put it on the side of the screen right here and let you know what the income looks like for each year and how many clients you have. And then in the second half of this video, I'll show you the spreadsheet that I used to actually create this, and I'll show you the breakdown for every client and how much I'm charging each client in this example. So when this video comes out, it's the beginning of 2025. So let's assume that you started your bookkeeping business last year in 2024 and you took some time to get trained to set up your business, and then you were able to get 2 clients. So working for about half the year just as a beginner with small clients, I said you can make $3,000. All right, in the next 2 years, so 2025 this year and next year, 2026, we are working on building clients. So we're really working on marketing. Shameless plug, you can take my marketing class that teaches you how to get bookkeeping clients. I also have a bunch of free videos about that on my YouTube channel, but we are focused on getting clients. So in this year, 2025, you are going to work your way up to 5 clients and you'll make $20,000. So in my hypothetical, you have hired on 3 new clients that have signed with you, and they're different sizes. So again, that'll be in the spreadsheet. All right, next year, you are continuing to market. It's getting a little easier to get clients because you feel more confident. Your networking pipelines are working. So in 2026, you get 4 new bookkeeping clients and you are up to $50,000. Nice work. 2027, which is year 4, I believe, we're not going to do any more work. We're just going to raise the prices of our bookkeeping clients. This is fair because you've been working for them for a while. You are gaining more experience. So we are keeping your client number the same. You still have those same 9 clients, but this year you make $70,000. And in the year 28, you get 2 more clients. So that brings you to a grand total of 11 clients now. And your annual income is $80,000. And this is the year I have you hiring a bit of help. So outsource a bit of your bookkeeping and you're kind of working on that passive income. Year number 5, you were making $90,000 and your workload remains pretty similar to the previous year. And I do have this old video that is one of my favorites and it's one of your guys' favorites, and it's a spreadsheet about how to make $100K annually in your bookkeeping business. And it calculates the number of clients you need and how much to charge each client. So this is kind of the same idea as that. It's just broken out and explained year by year. So kind of a different presentation of the information, but definitely check out that video after this one if it seems interesting. You can actually download that calculator spreadsheet that I made in the other video too. And in this example, in this case study, I really focused on your income. I didn't talk about expenses as much, partially because that's just how I have always done goal setting. I just focused on my income. And then also because in bookkeeping, your percentage that you take home is very high. I'm forgetting what the term is for that, but basically your expenses are low compared to your income. If you don't know me, my name is Morgan. My website is FinePoints.biz. I have a free chart that helps you be a bookkeeper, a free checklist, and some classes about how to get clients. So all that stuff is going to be linked in my description box. Also, stick around and subscribe if you are interested in this video. All right, let's get onto the screen record. All right, let's talk about exactly how did I get those numbers in my goal setting 5-year plan. So of course I made a spreadsheet to calculate each year. So you can see, I'm gonna zoom in on this, but you can see I have 2024, the year that is past, 25, 26, 27, and 28, where you're making $88,000. So let's zoom in on just starting out, and let's talk about kind of what you can do each year to get to that goal, or whatever goal you make. How can you kind of break it down? So just to tell you what is in this spreadsheet, first of all, this column is the rate per month. So client number 1 pays you $300 per month to do their books. And then this one is number of months in the year that you charged them. So I wanted to be realistic, and like you've only had this client for 4 months, so I want to make sure that the annual amount reflects that. So you've had this $300 client for 6 months, and then this is the annual amount that they paid you last year in 2024. And then same with client 2, they paid you $2,000. And then so your total when you started your bookkeeping business is $3,800. That is very commendable. $3,800 is significant, and you're really on your way to seeing that you can make money as a bookkeeper. All right, and then let's go to the next year, 2025. So you still have your first 2 clients, and the good news is now they are going to pay you for all 12 months. So right there, you have more than doubled your income, right? And then you're still hustling to find clients. So in this year, you were able to find 3 more clients, and 2 of them were right at the beginning of the year. So in January or February. So they paid you for 11 months of service. Plus sometimes there was like a cleanup and training period. I didn't even include that. And the reason we're looking for clients at the beginning of the year is of course because we are networking with accountants, with tax preparers, and they often have extra work at the beginning of the year. So that is a really good time to get clients because they're so busy preparing taxes, they don't have time to do their average bookkeeper, stuff. All right, so these 2 clients, 3 and 4, were kind of small. They were $300 a month clients, which is your monthly minimum. And of course, I'm speaking hypothetically. You can make your minimum whatever you want. This is about what I would recommend because it's hard to have teeny tiny clients. I do have a video all about tiny clients. If you want to have like a bunch of tiny clients, that is totally fine and up to you also. All right, and then the good news, you landed your biggest client you've ever had at $900 a month. You did that about halfway through the year, so you got 6 months of income for that client. Nice work. All right, so you can already see in year 2, you have gotten like, what is that, 6 times the income that you started with last year. So amazing jump this year. And it is kind of true that when you're beginning, like you can kind of maybe double-ish your income each year. Then of course, at some point, it likely will kind of plateau and settle in around whatever your goal amount is. But in the beginning, it is really fun to see that fast growth. All right, and then let's go on to the next year. So 2026, this is another year where you, like 2025, you are focused on getting clients. So you had 5 in that year and you got 4 new clients, up to 9 clients in 2026. So that is a great amount. And honestly, with 9 clients, you will probably be feeling fairly busy, I would say. Let me know in the comments how many clients you guys have if you're a bookkeeper. Like I've told you guys before, I've always worked part-time as a bookkeeper, and the most clients I had was 7. So I don't know, you could, and of course it depends on how big the clients are and how much time it takes you. I would guess this was maybe be 30 hours a week. But again, if you think I'm totally wrong on that, leave me a comment and let me know how many hours you think this client load would take you as a bookkeeper. All right, and so right again, your like legacy clients are paying you for 12 months this year. And that is so nice just because math-wise, you are going to make a lot more money from having them for a full year. And that is one thing that I love about bookkeeping is generally the clients are going to keep you. Of course, they're not obligated to, but in my experience, clients stick around for years and years. So you don't have to continually be getting new clients, but you can hopefully keep your clients and then just build on top of it. It's not like other jobs. My friend works in the wedding industry and I feel like she's constantly looking for new clients because, once you get married and you pay for your florist or for your photographer, you're probably not going to have that person as a repeat client, hopefully. But as a bookkeeper, these people are going to stick around year after year. All right. And then you have been working hard to get clients. Again, you used your same method as last year when you got these 2 clients at the beginning of the year during tax time. So that was a $400 client and a $500 client. So kind of like mid-range clients for you. So those are really solid ones. And then client number 8, you got it in the springtime. So they paid you for 8 months. Maybe this was a friend of client number 2. Maybe client number 2 is a veterinarian and they're like, oh, my friend who's a veterinarian who's even bigger business than me needs a bookkeeper. So you're working on defining your niche, marketing to the type of clients that you like, and then networking and building those relationships with the clients and with the people that you already know. All right, so for 8 months, that's $8,000. That's amazing. And then you also got client number 9 for a $700, very solid as well. You got them the month after that. So for this year, you made $50,000. So that is likely going to feel really good. If you're doing it as a side hustle, you're probably going to be able to quit your full-time job. You've kind of surpassed the point of just like bonus income. Like for me, my husband was working full-time, and so we were kind of trying to live off his income, but then having this extra money will truly change your life. Like you can do actual things with this. You can get out of debt. You can save it up to maybe change houses. You can pay for kids' college or private school. Like this is obviously a significant amount of income that's added to your family. All right, and you're gonna like the next year because we actually are not getting any new clients in 2027. So for 2027, I just had you raise your rates. And for this example, I only had you raise your rates $100 for every client. So client 1 used to be $300 up here, and now I just changed it to $400. So first of all, that is no more time or effort for you. That's literally just extra money in your pocket. And let's see the math difference that this makes. And then one thing to remember, these clients 6, 7, and 8 are going to now be 12 months. So that makes a huge difference as well. So you went from $50,000 up to almost $70,000. And again, you did not get any new clients. You in theory might even be working less hours because you're getting more efficient. You've learned all these clients. You can kind of do, especially these beginning ones, in your sleep. And honestly, only raising the rates $100 really, I think, is very fair. So like client 1, you've had them for a couple years. I think $100 is definitely not going to break their bank in that time period. Hopefully they are a growing business as well. And just logically, like the clients that are bigger, they're going to feel that $100 even less. So I mean, truly, you could probably raise this more than $100, like this client number 5, for example. But just for the sake of this example, I just did $100 extra across the board, and that makes such a big income difference. Again, from $50,400 to $69,600, along with having these guys for the full year. So then where do we go from here? This is far enough in the future that you can definitely pivot. So what I have planned out then is in 2028 is hiring someone to help me. And that may or may not be something I decide to do. And then, it's possible some of these clients might leave or, their business might be unsuccessful or something. So of course, this is an example. It is kind of a general idea of what might happen. You really want to remain flexible and able to pivot as time goes on. So in 2028, I have you hiring help. So you were pretty busy the previous year, and then you were also able to continue your marketing funnels and networking events, and you got 2 really good clients. And I will say, as time goes on in your bookkeeping business, I think it becomes easier to get clients. I literally think those first 2 clients this year in 2024 were probably your hardest clients to get. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. As time goes on, people are going to know you and they're going to trust you and they're going to recommend you. And so in this year, 2028, in like the winter time, you got a client number 10 and 11 that was for $900 and $1,000. That's amazing. And so at this point, maybe you want to hire another bookkeeper to help you. And I didn't subtract out their income here, but again, I have a video all about hiring help. And what if you just hired someone and you paid them $700 a month or $800 a month, under $1,000? This would eat into your income a bit, of course, but I really think you can still beat your last year amount. So, I think you could make this maybe like $80,000. Even with hiring another bookkeeper to help you. Another really, really part-time bookkeeper to help with either a couple clients or to do like all of your report pulling or however you want to structure it. That is when you start to feel that passive income. So you are the one with the marketing, you're the one with the client relationships, and you outsource some of the more tedious bookkeeping tasks. And maybe it's a more beginner person. So you pay them a rate that is not as high as your bookkeeper hourly rate. So maybe you pay them $30 an hour and they are excited to be paid $30 an hour because they don't have to do any of the work of finding clients. They just show up and do some bookkeeping and then go home. And I mean that metaphorically because we are working remotely. Okay, so I took the 5 years of annual income and I just added them straight up. and altogether it equals more than $300,000. Depending on what you include, I think it was $321,000 of income over 5 years. And so of course taxes is going to be taken out of that. So even with taxes taken out, let's say it's and expenses taken out, let's say it's $250,000. So two things I want you to think about. First of all, I want you to dream about what you can do with like an extra $250,000. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is we're going to compare it to working a normal 9-to-5 job. So number one, if you think of it as extra, I'm talking to you if you're someone who's doing bookkeeping as more of a side hustle, or at least you started out the first couple years as a side hustle, or if you are like the second income earner in your house. That was my situation. And I would 100% know that is not the case for everyone. So we're gonna talk about that in a second. But if you are able to view this as kind of like bonus income, it's really exciting because you can think like, oh, I can pay off debt with that chunk of money. Oh, I can put this much money in my retirement. I can fund those different financial goals with this chunk of side hustle bookkeeping money. So that in my brain is how I try to think about it to motivate myself and keep myself going. So sometimes it might be true that my income goes to less exciting things, like maybe it's just stuck in our retirement accounts, or maybe we had to put a new roof on our house, or maybe it paid like insurance or taxes. But for some reason in my brain, I account my income to a fun savings goal. I'm like, oh, we can live off my husband's income and his income is paying for that new roof, but mine is paying for this really fun goal that I'm excited about. So that can be a little bit of semantics or maybe delusion, but for me it works. All right, now let's talk about this in terms of getting a different job. So $250,000 divided by 5 years is $50,000 a year. So you may or may not be able to make more than that if you get a 9-to-5 job. So then it's just more of a lifestyle decision. So bookkeeping provides you tons of freedom. And in those 5 years, you were not working 40 hours at the beginning. So you had more free time. So if that's important to you, that's something to think about. Because it was really weird, right? Because the income started really low and then it kind of started doubling each year. And then you'll have to decide if that $80 or $90 or maybe $100,000 is more than you would be making 5 years in your typical 9-to-5 job. For me, it was. So it was worth it to build my bookkeeping business, start with a low salary and then build it, and be able to make more money at the end of the 5 years. Because the raise that I would get every year for those 5 years wouldn't have ended up as high an income, if that makes sense. I do believe that every situation is a little bit different. Some people might not be successful in building their bookkeeping business. They just won't. So there's technically more of a risk when you have your own business, right? But for me, the rewards really outweigh the risk. And for me, that's freedom of time specifically. And also freedom to choose my clients and freedom to choose like my own schedule and what I want to do as a bookkeeper. And I do have a video that's called Risks versus Rewards of Starting a Bookkeeping Business. So check out that video after this one if you want to hear more about how to mitigate and reduce the risks of starting a bookkeeping business. Basically, the Cliff Notes version is don't spend too much money getting training and on fancy stuff, and be consistent. Thank you guys who have stayed till the end. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful and leave me a comment.